Tell me your full name.
My name is Sayyam Gandhi.
How should I address you?
You may call me by my first name, Sayyam.
Are you a student or do you work?
Currently, I am a student who has just completed his 12th standard from one of the renowned school in my locality, namely K1 school.
Okay. Let's talk about concentration. Do you think you have high concentration power?
If I talk about myself, I merely have a high concentration in some particular fields that I have interest, but in various fields I think I am a person who can't focus for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do to stay focused?
For me to being focused or to have high concentration in a particular stream, I should have interest, or I usually do meditation in order to do the same.
Now you have good concentration, or in your childhood you had better concentration power?
Well, I think these days my concentration level has increased from the past few years, because I have made myself indulge in many curricular activities such as meditation, sports, which I think had a great impact on my concentration level.
Let's talk about barbecue. Have you ever tried barbecue food?
Yes, of course, I have tried barbecue food when I was in my 10th standard, but I had never eaten barbecue food since then.
Do you think barbecue food is hygienic?
And barbecue food is not quite hygienic.
Why?
Maybe it is cooked by some unprofessionals in my locality that I've seen.
Do you have a barbecue at your home?
No, I don't have a barbecue at my home. I actually do prefer to eat at the local restaurants in my neighborhood.
When was the last time you tried barbecue food?
Maybe, to be honest, I had no exact time when I have last tried the barbecue food. Maybe it was in my 11th standard when I went for a trip along with my friends. At a trip to Manali.
Let's talk about numbers. Which is your favorite number and why?
Maybe I think I love wearing t-shirts having 3 number, because I have an emotional connection with this number, because it represents my date of birth.
Are you good at numbers?
If I talk about myself, I think I'm not very good, but quite good in calculation and other things related to numbers.
In future, would you like to do a job in which you have to deal with a lot of numbers?
Yes, of course. I will love to do the same, because I've also chosen maths as my optional subject in my 12th standard, because I have a fond of numbers.
Okay. Let's move to round 2 now. Now I will give you a cue card which you need to prepare in 1 minute. Describe someone you know who has recently moved to a new place. The points you need to cover are who he or she is, what the new place is like, why he or she has moved to a new place, and explain whether his or her move has a positive impact on you. This is your cue card. You have 1 minute and your time starts now. Yes, time's up. Start.
Yes, ma'am. Since my childhood, I have met across a large crowd of people, many of which have had a great impact on me. Maybe there are many friends who have left me because they have to go somewhere, because most of the friends that I had, so the parents, most of the friends' parents are generally working in army, that they have to go for posting. But without beating around the bush, I want to mention about a person who's recently who has recently moved to a new place has greatly impacted me. He is my elder brother. He has recently moved to Canada for his studies. He has recently moved to Canada for his studies, so which has greatly impacted me because I have spent all my childhood along with him. Uh, I don't think his recently moved his immigration to Canada has a positive impact on me because because there was special bond between me and him. Uh, so due to my personal reasons and uh, and love with him, that's why I don't think it had made a positive impact on me. But he has to move to Canada in order to get a successful life career.
That's it.
Yes.
Would you also like to move to a new place?
Yes, definitely. I would love to move to a new place in order to develop some new skills in me that would allow me to become successful in my later phase of life.
Okay, may I have the file, please?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the end of round 2. Now we are moving towards round 3. I'll ask you a couple of questions regarding accommodation in new places. So why do some people purchase new accommodation?
Pardon me. Can you repeat the question?
Why do people move to a new accommodation, or why do they purchase a new accommodation?
Most of the people often do change their older houses or accommodations in search for better facilities for their families. There are quite some people who try to change their accommodation for some rental reasons, because in some places the rents are quite high, which accounts for the major budget of the people. That's why people look out for some better accommodations for better facilities and rental.
Okay, so what is the difference between living alone and living with roommates?
In my point of view, living alone would be a better choice, but for living with some roommates would help me to develop some skills in myself, like how to cooperate with others, how to build up some good relations.
Is it beneficial to live alone?
Living yes, there are many positives of living alone, that you get personal space for yourself.
Parents encourage their children to live alone.
No, it's quite popular in Western countries. If we are typically talking about my country, India, the people most often love to live alone, but the most of the families here are quite large due to some traditional reasons. Most of the parents just try to avoid their children's demands for living alone, because it's like a tradition in my country to live in.
Would you like to live alone in future once you get independent?
I think I might not be able to live alone, because I have a great relationship with my friends and my family. Due to some personal reasons, I would not be able to live alone. But if I would get chance to live alone for just couple of few weeks or months, I would surely try it.
Okay, this is the end of your speaking. Okay, Sanyam, good. There is a very clear improvement in your speaking. It's been 1 week. I was guiding you. I was telling you that okay, we need to work on, that fluency. You were fumbling, but today in round 1 there was almost no fumbling. The answers were flawless. The answers were quite smooth. Okay, so that is a good achievement. I really appreciate that. If I talk about your errors, When I talked about concentration, I was asking you a couple of questions regarding concentration. You started using should in one question. Should means karna chahiye. Okay, but I was asking you, now you have good concentration or in the past you had better concentration? So the answer has to be in present tense when you are describing the present scenario. Should means meri concentration high honi chahiye, but that was, required in those questions where I'm asking you to, do you think you should do this? Do you think you should have high concentration? Then this word has to be, this model has to be used. I don't know why, what happened when I asked you about barbecue and hygiene, there was, a shock expression on your face. And that answer you gave in one line. I said, do you think barbecue food is hygienic? You said, you took a pause and then you said, no, I don't think so, it is hygienic. And then, because the answer was not so satisfactory, I had to ask you again, why? Then you said, because of the staff or the surrounding? Actually, the question meant was, barbecue is generally placed outside, right? So, do you think the food which is prepared in the barbecue is hygienic? Because it is in the open environment. There are viruses, bacteria, dirt, dust. So, do you think it's hygienic? The answer could be yes, to a certain extent. I feel that it is hygienic because, to be honest, these days, people take care of the hygiene. Although I know that it is prepared in the open area, but still I believe that it is quite clean. I don't believe it is unhygienic. Or another answer could be, well, that's an interesting question. I think yes, there can be questions on the hygiene of barbecue food because in most of the cases, barbecue is placed outside, which gives an open opportunity to a lot of bacteria, dirt, germs, which can come into the food. Okay. Then cue card. Cue card is your gray area in which we need to work. Okay. Round 1 was fine. I didn't have much visible errors. I couldn't find much visible errors in your round 1. But in your cue card, turning point was of 40 seconds. Means your introduction was too long. Okay. And you were fumbling, you were repeating sentences. That repeating habit started happening in the cue card. Okay. And your cue card was of 1 minute and 51 seconds. You didn't conclude. All of a sudden, you ended up the cue card. I needed to ask you that done. You said yes, ma'am, done. So I don't know why it happened. Maybe you didn't have ideas. What was the impact of changing the place on you of that person? You explained in the second line only. But that was the last question. First of all, who is this person? Okay, you said he's my brother. What the new place is like, this point you didn't explain. He went to Canada. So where he is living in an apartment. It's a 2 BHK apartment. It's a 3 BHK apartment. It's a basement, what it is. Okay, you didn't explain it because this was the main point. Why he or she moved to that new place? What was the reason? Actually for his further career, for better study opportunities. It's quite obvious that he had to stay there. Then you needed to describe about that impact. Okay. Round 3 was also good. I didn't find much errors in your round 3. In one question again, it was a journal kind of a question. You directly started explaining with your personal example, with your personal experience. So there it could have been explained in such a way, first of all, explain what the journal point of view is and then you can come to your personal opinion. I think that was about do people live alone? Okay, you started explaining that you are that kind of a person who cannot live alone. But first of all, you need to explain what is the journal scenario, what is happening in your country, and then you could have switched to your opinion. Okay? Overall, Sayyam, I am giving you 6 bands. There is a positive improvement. Now this week you need to work on cue card. Make sure your cue card turning point is limited. It has to be like of 20 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds. Then cover up all the points. Make sure that you have ideas on each question for at least 5 to 6 lines. Number 3 point, conclude your cue card. Say so, say overall, so, and then you can, wind up the cue card. Fine? Anything you want to ask? Okay, fine.